Go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The Tuesday edition, the day 2 of the open free agent negotiating window, and the Packers were busy edition. Mostly a one-way street out of town edition. The what are your takeaways? What did we learn from yesterday's maneuvers edition? And some late-breaking news this morning. Goodbye, Nate Hobbs. We hardly knew you. Welcome to Green Bay, Benjamin St-Juste edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the incredible, awesome, amazing ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can download in both the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay, where there are a lot of people who are no longer in Green Bay, and one new person coming to Green Bay as of right now. Jesse Nelson is on some sort of assignment. I don't know if he's recovering from Bullstream TV or what. But in his stead is our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs we believe in better. The Superman aficionado himself, Hunter Vaughn. Hunter, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Outstanding. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. So who's this cat we just signed?
He's tall. He's 6'3".
Physical?
Which is, I have not broken down the film yet, although I have clearly, thanks to you, developed a reputation as a film guy when they add a corner, because of your emphasis on the extensive workup I did on Nate Hobbs, including that great game he never had against the Arizona Cardinals. Because there's a Twitter account, Packers Home, who sent me, Jason, you're a big film guy, so here you go, and a variety of clips of Benjamin St-Juste during his time with the Commanders when he joined the Chargers. So I'll have to do a little more extensive work than the 94 seconds that were sent to me. But
okay.
Nate Hobbs now has been informed of his release, and the Packers are going to make him a post-June cut, which would free up more salary cap space for right now but obviously push
Yeah,
more
that
into
is,
the future.
That's kind of what I thought when, there was that debate both about Banks and Hobbs. And, for Hobbs, it just didn't work. I don't know if it was a miscast where we were going to play him. Obviously, injuries affected where he was at. And it tells me, obviously, we need to get better in the secondary. I don't know.
Need more people, period.
What's St-Juste? What's his name? St-Juste? What is it?
All right, it's ST-JUSTE. So, as I said on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, I rely on Big Cat Josh DiMaggio for all my pronunciation information. So I don't know if it's like the juice is loose, juice, or the T is silent or not. I'm working on that.
So Ashton Rotman and I found a video of him introducing himself, and he says Benjamin St-Juste.
Jews?
Yeah.
Jews. Like au Jew.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you
So
dump
that's
in
how I
roast
said
beef.
it on my Sports Center, because that's at least the way it sounded when he himself
I love a good
said
French
it.
dip.
All right. Well, I'll say you always should trust what the player calls himself, because that's typically what he wants to be called. So we'll go with St-Juste.
Mike Trouser.
So I wonder. I mean, obviously he is going to 2 years, $10 million, $5 a year, which is I don't know,
Popcorn
less than
money?
what they paid Hobbs. No, it's more than popcorn money, but it's something that you're anticipating him being on the field, whether it's in nickel or, if he pops, all of a sudden maybe it could be a spot where he's more. Again, this is going to, my guess, put more pressure on what the Keyshawn Nixon scenario is going to play out, because I can't imagine Keyshawn making $4 million a year he's making. I doubt he's going to say, I'll be the number one corner, and I'm going to make less than St-Juste. You just picked him up. I could be wrong. I'm not going to be, but I could be. So the secondary is, I think still a concern, but what this tells me is that Brian Gutekunst isn't going to sit there. He's going to Ron Wolf this. He's not going to let, because he made a decision, he's just going to let it ride. You see something that didn't work, and you say, I've had it, let's move on. That is a hard thing to do as a general manager, especially when you're going out into the free agency world. So I think the one thing you can say about Brian Gutekunst, now we're going to have this discussion later about the offensive line. I think you could say he's not stuck to any one thing. He will make moves, and if they don't work, he will move off of them quickly. He's done it with the place kicker. He's done it with the backup quarterback position, and now he is doing it in the secondary, because this group last year, while I don't think they were bad by any stretch, they weren't good enough. And hopefully this St-Juste will come in and do something, be able to stay healthy and be more productive than what Hobbs was, because I think Hobbs, outside of being the PR agent for Keyshawn, I think he did bring he was, I think what they wanted was the dog. I think they liked the dog. You saw it when you watched film, and unfortunately he never really got into a rhythm to be able to be that guy for this defense. And instead of Goody hoping that it might turn, he said, it's time to turn the page, let's do something different.
I also think it's interesting that he was a slot guy for his entire time in Vegas, and the theory was that he was going to move outside. Keyshawn Nixon was able to do that. We never really figured out, because of the injuries and everything else, if Nate Hobbs could. But once he had the injury issues, what happened? You saw a guy who I think they are really, really, really excited about and really high on in Javon Bullard become the slot guy, and he's that guy now. Like, they're not looking for other options there. Obviously, they have to have depth for if something happens to a very physical player in Javon Bullard. But beyond that, like, he was kind of a man without a country even once he became healthy, because despite the inconsistent tackling we saw from Carrington Valentine, he was a better cover option outside than Nate Hobbs was, and obviously Keyshawn Nixon was their number one. I think it's interesting that it's 2 years, $10 million for St-Juste, because if you had brought in a corner, and maybe they still will, right? We don't know what is around the corner, pun not intended.
Woolen, what the cat? Who's the cat that everybody is linking
Woolen?
to? Woolen. Okay.
But again, I'm not saying that Goody flat out said he's not going to sign real unrestricted free agents, but he talked about this at the Combine. The compensatory pick thing is real.
No doubt.
You see Kingsley Enagbare depart on a 1-year, $10 million deal. This signing does not hurt them from a equation for compensatory picks. And assuming Romeo Doubs...
They need Sheeto to get a big boy deal.
And
I don't
Sheeto
think they're
get
getting a third... I don't think they're going to get a third-round pick with what Malik Willis's contract. I think that's going to be a fourth. That's according. I think Spoon does a really good job with that. I think he put that out into the Twitter sphere. We don't know for sure because I think it's all a compilation. Right?
Playing time is also a factor, and if he starts all the games, it should go up to a third, is what I was told.
Okay, good.
So you got that going for you, which is nice. Sure. And also, by the way, Quay Walker's deal was higher than a lot of people expected it to be. There were people projecting that his compensatory pick value would be like a 6th rounder. He got, as you like to say, broke off by the
He'll get
Raiders.
a 5th. That'll be a 5th, I would think, for him.
Yep.
Which is great. And you can only get 4. So all of this, you can only get 4 comp picks.
Correct.
So we don't need to sit here and just continue to run up the scoreboard. Like I don't think we need to have 7 or 8 guys end up getting signed. You mentioned Enagbare. You can sign people. Now you don't want to go out if you're really focused on getting those comp picks, which I know Green Bay wants. But if there is a corner or a defensive tackle or someone that can make a big impact on this football team, they should go and get them. Whether or not that is going to be how it plays out or if it's going to be a trade, because as we see Goody not signing Enagbare, which I don't love. I thought that was I know $10 million, but I think he would have had definitely a role that would have sufficed to pay him $10 million. He would have been the third guy, and with the injury factor to Micah, that tells me that they were okay. I don't know who and what that replacement is going to look like, but I thought J.J. Enagbare with Micah probably missing most of September, and with a LVN being semi-unproven, I didn't think that was – I thought that would have been worth a flyer to keep at that price point. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Goody did not, because that wouldn't hurt your compensatory pick package.
Correct.
It's somebody but 1 year, $10 million, that's not how Green Bay wants to do business. They want to be able to spread the cap out and figure it out. And so JJ is obviously betting on himself going to New York, dominating and getting a big fat deal, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm. So we'll discuss more on what went on yesterday, and of course we'll have updates throughout the show today as the free agency open negotiating window is open for a second day. I do want to get into a question that you posed after the show that I think is really interesting, which we will get to. I do want to ask you this. Were you surprised, as I was talking to Bill Huber last night from Sports Illustrated, I'm not sure I was completely surprised that Romeo Doubs didn't find a home on day one, but I was definitely surprised that Sheeto didn't. Were you?
Yeah. I mean, I think, and again, this is why media reports and everything else, yes, there's a lot of validity to a lot of it, but I think Sheeto, there is this, perception, because the same conversations that I have about Jalen Carter and about others is, if you have a franchise left tackle that's going into his 5th year and has played as many games, why doesn't Green Bay want to pay him? Mm-hmm. If I'm Chicago, or if I'm New England, or if I'm the teams that have kind of been linked, Cleveland has been linked to him, I'm asking those questions too.
Right.
And it's not a slight. it's the reality of how the NFL works. So, in Cheeto's case, I think he is going to get paid. I don't know if it's going to be it's not going to be Linderbaum money. I don't know if he's going to get into that mid-20s. Maybe it will. I hope for him it is, and I hope for Green Bay it is. But my guess is they're pushing. His camp is going to push, and eventually people are going to back away, and you're going to be where you're going to be. And if you had the anticipation you were going to get 25 or 26, and you're only getting to 21 or 22, you have to kind of weather that, have your, Shido, the expectations that he was going to get 26, 27. That might be part of it, or it could be on the flip side, and there's 3 teams that are just railing this thing up, which is what I hope happens. I doubt that is the case, but you could look at it from both perspectives. My guess is that he will sign somewhere in that low 20s, and it will be a good spot for him to get, kind of his career where there is a full-on embrace of him as your blindside tackle, which really, since Jordan Morgan got drafted, there never has been in Green Bay.
I have another question for you. Why would you go anywhere other than Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for your new windows?
Well, you never should. In our homes, boy, I'll tell you what, if you don't believe about the weather in Wisconsin, just wait and see. Yesterday, 60-some-odd degrees, beautiful out. Rainstorm tonight, snowstorm coming later this week. The weather, you need to be prepared. That's why you need Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. They focus on quality and durability in everything they do. The right windows and doors will vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall styling. With Pella, you will get those expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and within your budget. Don't miss out on 0% financing all the way till 2032. I don't think anybody's getting contracts all the way to 2032. You can with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The offer ends March 31st. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
We'll get ready to talk to Evan Cohen, who's coming up a little bit later. Free agency rolls on in the NFL. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is express entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finesse Antetokounmpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. You know, I've loved Pizza Hut since I was a kid, and now I love making new memories, enjoying it with my family today. For a limited time, Pizza Hut's Big New Yorker pizza is just $10. An extra large pizza with 6 huge foldable slices and bold New York style flavor. Big size, big value, and just $10. Order right now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, feed good times. For a limited time, order a Big New Yorker pizza for just $10. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Wisconsin, let's keep this simple. If you've been patiently waiting for Yingling to finally make its way here, thanks for hanging in there. If you believe a beer tastes even better after shoveling the driveway, mowing the lawn, or putting in an honest day's work, well, you're our kind of people. Wisconsin, it's finally here. Yuengling, oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations, and now officially in Wisconsin. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
It's win or go home. The road to state starts right here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
On the run, Natalie Cuso. Shot is good.
From buzzer beaters to bracket busters, we've got live coverage every round.
The Wanakee Warriors heading back downtown to the Kohl Center.
Live on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The road to a gold ball runs through Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Looking to buy your next home or ready to sell and move on to bigger and better things? What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Don't be left out in the cold this season. Let's get housed. Nobody knows what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Wilde and Tausch with Hunter Vaughn in as our cousin sub of the day for Jesse. We'll talk to Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike coming up. All right, so Tausch, I just want to kind of tease this so we don't get Evan mad at us by being late when we get to him. But I thought this was a great question. I gave it a lot of thought, which some might accuse me of not always doing. You asked the top 3 things we learned about the Packers and Goody and whatever else it might be from the first day of the legal tampering, a phrase that I don't like, open negotiating window for free agency. We will save our second and thirds for after we talk to Evan. But what was the biggest thing you thought you learned?
The biggest thing that I think I took away from this is, well, it's kind of twofold, but it's that Goody thinks that this offensive line is going to be good enough. Most of us kind of thought, because, correct me if I'm wrong, they re-signed Darian Kinnard yesterday, right?
Reportedly, yes, indeed.
Yeah, reportedly. I know nothing is like concrete until it is, but all of us have been sitting here, and along that, my dual-pronged is Brian Gutekunst still believes in his first-round picks because the decisions that he has made in letting guys go and in bringing guys back is that he believes in his first-round picks. Those two guys are going to be instrumental in how this team is going to plug along next year. They're both going to be asked in critical roles, pass rusher and a blindside protector. They're going to be tasked with huge jobs, and both have been unproven. And Brian Gutekunst believes in both. That's what I've learned. That is the biggest takeaway that I've learned from how the Green Bay Packers have addressed their, free agency period so far. Now, all of that could change if we get a breaking news thing and Cheeto's market isn't what it thought, and they sign it for $16 a year. All of a sudden, then I will rescind. But as we're sitting here right now, you feel like he is all in on his first-round picks, which he should be. And he feels like this offensive line, while it's taken a lot of shrapnel, and they did not change coaches, they feel like they can be better. And whether or not that is going to be accurate, we shall find out. That is a big dice roll. I would argue, and I know we're not getting into our second and third, I would argue that this is almost assuredly saying that there is going to be, in one of their first 2 draft picks, it will be an offensive lineman. That is what I have learned. So I am going to give you my 1 and 2 because they correlate with each other. Well, that's what I'm doing. I didn't think we were going to do this right before EVCO, but since we are,
I just wanted to tease it. So
I'll tease the third one, which is pretty simple. But the first 2, that's what I've learned about Brian Gutekunst and where the Packers' direction is so far.
I want to take calls on this as well after we're done with Evans, so that's why I wanted to set the stage early. I'll say this. We heard Goody reiterate again. In fact, he rounded even further down on this statistic now. It has gone from 1.6 players who are retained from each draft class with a second extension, second contract, to 1.5. So, it's just decreasing. But look, I don't have any problem. You and I both feel very strongly about Elgton. He's one of our favorite guys. I have no problem with what they did yesterday. They cleared $19 million.
The writing was on the wall when they didn't redo his deal last year.
Yep.
The writing was on the wall.
Yep. And had he stayed healthy, maybe it has a different ending, but probably not.
Maybe. I think that this, if he played healthy and at like an all-pro level, I think they would have paid him and kept him. Yep. But that, unfortunately, wasn't how it played out. And, again, that's the risk both sides take when you don't kind of come to terms with that. But I think that was, Elgton had been dinged up a bunch. He blew his knee out, and there's other things. And Goody is just not he's not in the sentimental business. And that can be a tough thing. A really nice note that he wrote. On the
are we sure
website.
He wasn't hacked?
You'll have to ask him. I don't know. But it was nice that he gave Elgton some flowers on the way out, because Elgton, unfortunately, that is the tough part of this business, because, man, they showed his stats of where he played, and for him to be able to do that is so special. He was a special player, and I hope he can continue and go get paid and go play good football somewhere else. But when they drafted him, and I could tell because you talk to the guys that were in that room, you could talk to Balaga, they all knew he was the guy.
Yeah.
They knew he was going to be a really good player. And players know better than anybody else, and they knew it, and Elgton was. And it just sucks when injuries take some of that away, because I do think he was on, and I think after about year 2 or 3, I said his trajectory was Hall of Fame, not Packers Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame, and unfortunately that was probably derailed by too many injuries.
So they release him and they trade Rashan Gary. Again, moves that make perfect sense. Still can't believe they got a 4th rounder for Rashan Gary when
neither could Skip Bayless. Skip has become a big Packer fan lately.
Certainly a critic of his hometown Cowboys. But I just think this underscores Goody's philosophy, right? I mean, he's now moved on from 5 of his 10 first-round picks during his time. The fact that he was not paying Quay Walker,
Jason, quick question on that, because that 5 out of 10, is that how he wants it, or is that because he hasn't drafted well enough?
Well, I think it's because he hasn't drafted well enough, but Ted Thompson didn't draft well enough in the first round either. I think you have to be legitimately special, or he has to have a very clear need to give out a second contract now. That appears to be his philosophy. And they were never, I mean, you and I both loved the idea of Tyler Linderbaum in Green Bay. He
Not
got
at that price,
an insane amount of money. I mean, $81 million, and 60 of it is fully guaranteed.
Really well done. Yeah, great job by everybody but Baltimore on that.
So the Packers got a much less expensive but not as good alternative, and I think this is what I wrote for Channel 3000. It really does underscore what his philosophy is, because look, both those guys that they moved on from yesterday got second contracts. And much like Jair's, you kind of feel like, but well before you got to the end of it, you kind of regretted it. And so I think it's only going to further make him more reluctant. And there's a quote, I used it in the story, 26 to 29. He flat out said the age range that he wants players. 26 to 29. Those are your elevator
But when you asked
years,
him about 30,
some might say.
When you asked him about 30, he scoffed at you.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? But then a few weeks later, he flat out said 26 to 29. So we will get further into this.
By the way, I'm always pro player. Totally agree with that philosophy. Totally agree.
You stay the healthiest, you're most productive. I still think of all your analogies, the elevator years is the GOAT of your analogies. But I do think that there are guys that merit maybe not sticking as closely to that. We'll see if Zaire Franklin fits that bill, because he's an outlier, acquiring him shortly before his 30th birthday. We need to get to Evan Cohen, and Tausch needs to tell us about Prize Picks.
Well, it is the best time of year. Conference tournaments. March Hoops is here. It is one of the best times to be watching sports, and when you're watching sports, there is nothing more fun than downloading the Prize Picks app, using that code WI, and you'll get $50 in lineups for free when you play that first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI. And every dunk, every three, every big performance matters even more. And it is simple to play. More or less, 2 to 6 player stat projections. You're right. You cash in. Download that Prize Picks app again today. Use code WI. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI. Prize Picks is good
to be right. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch, and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie. Zimbrick Chevrolet is truly the name you can trust. But you know what you can't trust? Wisconsin's winter weather. Just when you think we've almost made it to the end of the Wisconsin winter, think again. If you've been putting off some routine vehicle maintenance, hoping to get to the end of winter, stop being so foolish. Check the battery, change the oil, and it might even be time for some new tires so you don't end up slipping and sliding before winter comes to an end. Stop on into Main Street in Sun Prairie or log on to ZimbrickChevrolet.com to check out the amazing service team at Zimbrick Chevy and how they can help you and your vehicle make it to spring. Take my word for it. Check them out. The service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 2 locations right here in Madison. At Johnson Fitness and Wellness, you'll find top-rated treadmills, strength equipment, ellipticals, bikes, and more, all guided by certified fitness experts who match the right equipment to your goals, space, and budget. And with white glove delivery and installation, plus flexible financing options, you can build your home gym with confidence. Visit one of their stores today or online at johnsonfitness.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Keeping up with vehicle maintenance is tough, so Metro Ford of Madison makes it easy with mobile service. Metro Ford will come directly to you, home, office, wherever your day takes you. Their Ford-certified techs handle oil changes, filters, batteries, wipers, inspections, and more, all without a visit to the dealership. You stay on schedule, we'll take care of the rest. Call 608-246-3600 today to book your mobile service appointment, and let service come to you. That's Metro Ford of Madison. Visit them at metrofordofmadison.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Unsportsmanlike's Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Huracan Bank. Founded by inventors and fueled by community, Huracan Bank has been helping Wisconsin businesses grow for 130 years. Now serving Milwaukee, Huracan Bank, doing good for 130 years.
Joining us now on the Yuengling Hotline. I'm on the Yuengling Hotline a lot. Joined Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning, and I did not realize how exciting it is that Yuengling is now in Wisconsin. I've had a bunch of our fans who listen to our shows talking about how exciting it is that the pride of Pottsville, Pennsylvania has now made its way to Wisconsin, and we're talking about it all the time because it is the Yuengling Hotline. And joining us on it now is Unsportsmanlike's Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch. Evan, good morning. How are you?
Wilde, Tausch, Hunter, how's everybody?
Hey, so as a guy who famously, and I've seen the video, was going to NFL drafts with his spiral-bound notebook and writing things down. You're a draft and develop guy, apparently. But how do you feel about the free agency frenzy in the NFL and how it compares to the hot stove league of baseball? And you're an NBA guy, and we know, Lord knows, the thing we talk about most in the NBA is where players are going next, not where they are currently. How does it compare?
Right. Well, it's dumb, honestly. Like, it's simultaneously great and dumb. I mean, Adam Schefter was on with us. No, I mean, well, I'll tell you. Adam Schefter this morning told us on Unsportsmanlike at 6 a.m. on ESPN Wisconsin that he's sick of calling it the legal tampering period. He's just not going to do it anymore. And free agency began yesterday, and that it basically ends tomorrow. Like, the wave of free agency. That doesn't mean, obviously, the biggest move, arguably, in the NFL offseason last year was by the Green Bay Packers. It happened in August, right? But that was not a free agent move. So it's just, every sport has these weird quirks of, like, really, this is how we're going to do it? NBA draft, where the guy puts on the wrong hat.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest thing ever, right? So, like, legal tampering. Like, sure, things could fall through. I'm not saying that that's impossible, but I would say it's similar in that it has its quirks. It's different in years past in that people would look at it and say, oh, big spending means you're not going to necessarily win. That was not the case last year. So the last year, in many ways, threw it off because I believe New England and Seattle were in the top 5 of spend in March of a year ago, and obviously both ended up in the Super Bowl.
Evan, when you look at what the biggest headlines were of yesterday, I mean, speaking of teams that win the offseason, the Raiders spent, like $1 billion or pretty close to it on their guys. What were the things that stood out the most with you, especially in your conversations with Adam Schefter?
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders obviously spent a ton. I understand what they did. It's not what I would have done. I would have taken an Oklahoma City Thunder approach to their team building and asked the Dolphins for Tua, and I would have taken on a second-round pick. I would have traded out of the number 1 overall slot for multiple picks. I have now come to the conclusion that if it's your pick, picking number 1 overall, you should not pick a quarterback. If it's someone else's pick, you can. But if based on your own pick that you, quote-unquote, earned, that tells you you're not ready for a quarterback.
Evan, why do you say overall? That? Can
That's
you explain
really interesting.
Your one? Okay. I don't understand either.
All right, yeah. So there are, my notes are in my bag, but there are 4 quarterbacks, I believe, in history that have ever been drafted by the team that earned the pick that made it to the Hall of Fame with that team. There are, I believe, 3 quarterbacks in the last, 30 years that have won a Super Bowl
Peyton Manning,
with the team that drafted
who? Peyton? Who else?
Yep.
Who are the 4?
That won a Super Bowl with the team that drafted them, you're saying?
Yeah.
Or Hall of Fame.
One that
Hall of Fame. So
well,
Terry
you
Bradshaw,
said won a Super Bowl. Bradshaw. Okay.
Yep. I'm at a red light. I can get you my notes here in a second. So.
No, you're good. Keep going. It's
right.
I had never heard it said that way because everybody assumes that number 1 quarterback spot gives you, that stability. Obviously, that is not the case, and I'm going to think on who those other 2 are. But continue with your point. It's I've never heard anybody say this.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Okay, since 1970, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, the only 3 that have won the Super Bowl with the team that drafted them, number 1 overall as the starter. Okay, Eli and John Elway are catches on that, right? Because they've won Super Bowls being drafted number 1, never playing a game prior.
Yep.
But technically, right? That's the whole Caleb Williams thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, Caleb's off to a great start." He is. Wasn't their pick. It was Carolina's pick, right? And since 2001, Cam Newton, Jared Goff, and
he's right.
That matters.
Okay,
that
yeah,
matters
okay.
Because number one overall indicates historically bad. Number 9 overall indicates a bad year. There's a difference. So since 2001, Cam Newton, Jared Goff, and Joe Burrow are the only 3 quarterbacks drafted 1 overall to lead their team to a Super Bowl. They didn't win, obviously. And do you know the last 7 number 1 overall picks at the quarterback position have now not reached the age of 30 with the team that they're on?
I thought, didn't Goff get traded? Wasn't there a bunch of picks traded to get Goff, or am I misremembering that?
That wasn't their pick. That's a good point. Yeah, so it was not their pick.
Okay. Yeah,
that was not their pick.
Sure.
Right. So, okay, in terms of other teams that I liked, by the way, yesterday, I actually love what Big Mike did. I love what Pittsburgh did. Sliding right under the radar and saying, "Oh, so Indy, you want to pay the guy who did play for Coach Fickle in his senior year, Alex Pierce, you want to pay that kind of dollar figure for your number 2 receiver? Cool, we'll take your number 1 receiver and we'll give him number 2 money or 1B money in 3 years, 60. I love Rico Dowdle at the running back position, who I believe I love him as a big bruising back, especially in Pittsburgh, and I'm pretty sure Mike had him in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. And so I love that. And so what they've done is, if Aaron doesn't want to come back, they've made it QB friendly for whoever that next QB is. When was the last time you felt that way about Pittsburgh? So I like what they did. I love what Kansas City did. I don't like the idea of drafting a running back in the top 10, which a lot of people thought they were going to draft Jeremiah Love. The reason I don't like it is because you have to give your top 10 pick a second contract. A second contract for a running back 4 years in, 5 years in is way too much money. So getting Kenneth Walker for 2 to 3 years is better than Jeremiah Love and quote-unquote failing on a first-round pick because you can't give him that second contract. Plus, they go out there and, Kelsey comes back. Kairos Tonga is a guy that plays nose, can play defensive tackle, but also has played fullback. I like him for Kansas City. So those are the teams I like a lot. I think the Giants had a good day yesterday, bringing in Isaiah Likely. I don't love what Washington did. I thought they were overspending. And I'm not mad. Like, if I'm a Packers fan sitting here today, I see a lot of familiar names, from Nate Hobbs to Elgton Jenkins to Quay Walker to all these guys leaving. I don't know that I'm, devastated. I'm just kind of waiting for, all right, what's Goody up to?
Yeah, I was listening yesterday, and Canty was raving about the move the Cowboys made at picking up Rashan Gary. I was kind of taken back because and you pushed back on it because you're on ESPN Wisconsin a bunch. I was shocked. I think Jason was shocked. Our fans were shocked that we got a 4th-round pick. Like, he announced his being released or leaving Green Bay on a Friday, and we're all thinking, well, nobody's taking that contract on. Green Bay is not going to keep him at that. And I thought maybe a 7th, and Jerry Jones done it again by giving the Green Bay Packers a 4th. What was Canty's point on that? Is he's a big Rashan Gary believer, or what was that?
Yeah, I think basically what he said was if he's good, that what is it, $18 million price tag? Is that what it is?
Yes, that's his base salary this year. Yep.
Yeah. So his point was if you get the productivity you're supposed to get from a 1st-round pick as an edge player, it's worth more than $18 million. His whole thing is always $2 million a sack. So, like, if he gets 10 sacks for the Cowboys, that's a value play.
Well, he's never done that. He's never done that in his career yet.
No, I wouldn't. And I obviously consume a lot of ESPN Wisconsin and follow so many people on social media. By the way, if you want to follow Michelle Smallman on social media, at Evco Radio. But anyway, so I just figured that would get me more
she got hacked? Did Rashan Gary's hacker get her?
No. But anyway, I think that was his thought process. I follow too many Packers fans and Packers
just wait a second. You just glossed over that. First off, it was a fun joke. You can laugh. It's all right to laugh, Evan, when something's funny. And so, can you tell us why Smallman is now Evco?
It's not real. I just feel like I'll get more followers if people think they're getting her content over mine. That's why I promote her Twitter as my handle.
That's fun. Okay, good work.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
I think the hacker joke was better,
guys,
frankly.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my hacker joke that got no reaction, but okay, fair enough. Continue.
Anyway, well, I gave the point. There's really nothing more. What do you want me to make up more that Candy didn't say? I mean, it's what he said.
Continuing with Evan Cohen on the Yuengling hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America and now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. All right, Evan, I am fascinated, and Tausch and I talked a little bit about it before you came on. The moves, to your point, I don't know if anyone who left Green Bay yesterday, Packers fans are devastated by. I told KBN that if there's one guy that I'm nervous about going somewhere else and really blossoming, it's Quay Walker. I think, first of all, if you look at his age, you look at his production, I think Elgton Jenkins still has plenty of good years left in him just because he's old by Packers standards. I think he's going to go somewhere and be a really good left guard for someone. But it's Quay Walker who I think was on the precipice of becoming a really good player and finally everything clicking. And I wouldn't have paid what the Raiders paid him if I was Goody either. So with all those departures, how do you view the Packers? Because I think Josh DiMaggio feels this way. I think Tausch feels this way. There's a feeling of there's got to be something coming here. Do you get that same vibe? Because for a Super Bowl contender, it does feel like a pretty big mass exodus.
Well, but it is interesting, Jason, because if you look over the last 12 months, they have brought in players that at one point or another were literally the best players on their side of the ball, right? Obviously, Micah. Zaire Franklin was literally the best defensive player on the Colts, right? Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is they've let guys walk that you feel like could amount one day to be the best player on one side of the ball. But the guys they've brought in are literally the best player on that side of the ball. So maybe it's more of we're not going to deal in upside as much as we're going to deal with practically this is what this guy is, and he is now what the other guy could be, but not definitely will be, right? So I don't know if you believe that is a theme, and you're going to start looking at whether it's Trey Hendrickson, obviously across that defensive line at the end position, other players that you're going to look at and say, who would resemble, nobody resembles Micah, but conceptually, who would resemble Micah, who would resemble Zaire Franklin, and are those the guys that maybe the Packers are going to bring in? My favorite non-quarterback in the entire league is Trent Williams, the left tackle for the 49ers. I don't think the Packers are going to get him, but that's somebody, if Walker leaves, that I would certainly want if I'm the Green Bay Packers. So are there other guys like that are best player on a certain side of the ball that maybe they could bring in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, what about like a Jalen Carter? Because Philadelphia has been eerily quiet. They signed their other defensive tackle.
Jordan Davis.
Rumor has been I don't see that coming to fruition. But Philly, you don't see Philly trading Jalen Carter?
No. When I say best player on their side of the ball, while he would fit that, I mean, if you want to go back to something that Canty said, Jalen Carter has best.
He's what? I didn't catch what Evan said.
Yeah, I think we lost. I think we lost him.
Oh, I was gonna say I was like right on my edge. Like what?
Jalen Carter has a.
There was another thing, and I don't know if we'll get Evco back, but the other thing that I was intrigued by what he and Shefty were saying today was Minnesota, because Minnesota, they battled last year, obviously beat us.
Yeah,
one of the most meaningful.
Thank God I was there. Glad I was there.
It's great that you covered that from start to finish. The quarterback spot, he did not mention one Aaron Charles Rodgers as an option. Russ Wilson was brought up before Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to be Kyler Murray.
I think so too.
When Shefty brought that up and did not do that, I thought, very interesting. I don't know if you found that as interesting as I did, but I did find that interesting.
Evan, you said Jalen Carter, and then we lost you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Great cheese. So Jalen Carter, per Canty, you played defensive line in the NFL for 11 years, and you watch him and you can feel this way. Jalen Carter has best defensive player in the league capabilities, not best defensive player on his team capabilities. So if
he's
you're
right,
if you're the, yeah, right. So if you're the Eagles, I need to get Max Crosby, Micah Parsons turn for me to even consider moving a guy like that. So I don't see. Now, if Goody pulls that off, oh my God.
Yeah.
That'd be unbelievable.
Well, we don't have
to be able to pull that off.
Yeah,
well,
and I doubt
that
is going to be the case.
Trade.
You don't have a first-round pick in either of the next two drafts. Yeah, it's not going to happen, but it's been reported. And I do think Philly trades him at some point. I don't think they're going to pay him the Bonko dollars. And I would be looking – I don't know where Chicago's at. Chicago was in the Max Crosby. They need pass rush. I think Philly will, for the right price, be more than happy to trade Jalen Carter. Maybe that's something to watch. The last thing, Evan, from me, I heard you with Shefty this morning talking about Minnesota's quarterback situation. No Aaron Rodgers mentioned, but Russ Wilson mentioned.
I thought that
was interesting.
I thought that.
Me too.
That was we picked up on that as well. Yeah. So Minnesota quarterback position. So let's rewind to yesterday. Dan Graziano joined us, ESPN NFL reporter, at 6:15 on ESPN Wisconsin AM, and he said basically the quarterback market starts with whoever gets Minnesota. So what's interesting about that is that tells you Tua had no market because he didn't wait. He's like, oh, wait, this team wants me? I'll go to Atlanta, right? Malik Willis obviously was in a different conversation because Malik Willis is looking for money, not as much opportunity, understandably so, because he's never made that kind of money, right? Miami's not the best opportunity. Miami's the best money. So all year long I've been saying Kyler. I've heard recently that Minnesota really likes Geno Smith, which makes sense. Professional, smart quarterback, right? But it seems like Kyler's going to be the guy there. But Shefty slipping in Russ, I thought was very interesting as a possibility. Now, the Russ possibility would allow for a better chance of McCarthy to win the job, I think, than the other two. So maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe Aaron has not expressed the interest in Minnesota because of McCarthy. But I thought that was very interesting. I would have liked, if Russ is going to be a backup, I would have liked to have seen him go to Carolina because he has a relationship with Canales, who he worked with in Seattle, and that's obviously where he's from. But I thought that was, or not Carolina, went to college, obviously, before Wisconsin. He's from Virginia, but you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah, if they went with Russ in Minnesota, that would be very, very, very interesting. But I guess Rodgers is going back to Pittsburgh, right? I'll tell you, I'm fascinated. Maybe Tom got my mind rolling on this. I'm fascinated by the Packers' backup quarterback situation because backup quarterbacks in Packers history have usually fared pretty damn well, to say the least. So, and even if you want to say, well, Matt Flynn was a bust in Seattle, Matt Flynn is certainly going to be living life well because of Seattle, that's for sure. So, I mean, Tausch, you're throwing out there Justin Fields. What about Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, but it'll cost. I don't know what that price point is, and he's still on a rookie deal, which most of the time is good, but in this case it isn't. I don't know what his number is salary-wise. I want Justin Fields on a 2-year, low salary. Prove it. You're at the bottom right now. You bring a skill set that is different than Jordan Love, which I think Matt LaFleur likes, and you can build him back up. You can prove as a coach that you can develop quarterbacks. You've done it already. Everybody that is down on the Justin Fields thought, and Cap called me, said, you're an idiot. The ESPN 1000 guys have said, what the heck are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. I am not saying that he's going to be a big boy starter again in this league, but can he be a serviceable backup that can win you a few games? Abso-blank-and-lutely he can.
What if I told you don't have to trade for Richardson? What if I told you they just released him? Would you sign him?
If they release him, somebody else will pick him up and probably pay that. I am not interested in paying him. I think it'd probably be, $7 or $8 million. Maybe that's the number. If that's the case, you could
really.
It's a rookie contract. I don't know. His base salary is not nothing, I don't think. I'll let you look at the financials on it. If it is the same as Justin Fields, yep, I'll take Richardson. I don't know if that will be the case. And I think you're going to have to give some. The Colts aren't going to just let him go when they know Rashan Gary got a 4th.
Right. I still can't believe that happened. Richardson is in the last year of his contract, his rookie deal. He did not get the 5th-year option. His base salary is the league minimum, $1.145 million.
Okay. Then I would give up. I would give up a 7.
He has a roster bonus that is due, that is, I believe, guaranteed. So they could just release him and say this guy couldn't even stay in a game because he was winded.
Somebody will give up a pick. Trey Lance got a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, you're right.
That's who I asked Lil Wayne that question this morning because he was on with us, and obviously a diehard Packers fan. He brought up Trey Lance as a possible backup for the Packers.
What did he say? What did Lil Wayne say?
That's what he said. I just said. He said Trey Lance.
Oh, I thought you asked him. He likes Trey Lance's. Okay.
They have right now.
You're very feisty this morning.
Well, I said we had Lil Wayne on. He said he would like Trey Lance as a backup, and then you said, what did he say? That's what he said.
The Packers.
Thanks I like double sourcing. What? I can't double source and clarify? All right.
It's the same source.
Forget about journalistic intent. I won't clarify. That's on me. Hey, that's my bad, Evan. That's on me.
Wait a second. Hold on. 2 sources would be like, hey, I talked to Wilde and I talked to Domofsky. All right, I got 2 people telling me this. If you say the same thing with the same source twice, is that double sourcing?
I'm not a journalist major, so that's a Jason Wilde question. I don't know. I'm tempted to say it's probably not, but I don't know in today's day what I don't think so. Jason, that's not double sourcing, right?
No. Just for those that are curious, as of right now, the Packers have Desmond Ridder, a former starter in Atlanta, who kind of fits the suit of reclamation project, inexpensive, much like Malik Willis was. The other quarterback that will be vying for the backup job as of now is Kyle McCord, who you may remember from Ohio State and then Syracuse. He was a 6th-round pick by the Eagles last year. He has not seen action in the NFL, but he had a production in college. So those are the 2 guys right now that are in the running for that. I don't see them adding Anthony Richardson, But I would be interested to see that happen. It'd be intriguing, that's for sure. Evan,
for a seventh? For a seventh at 1.4, count me in.
Yeah. What was he, the third or fourth overall
pick?
Second
source on that?
Yeah,
Fourth,
you. And then Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Yes,
Jason.
Lil Wayne's our source.
Jason, I don't think you didn't mean to do this in any way, shape, or form, so I'm not critiquing you, but I want to point something out. Indianapolis ruined him more than he ruined himself. They played him way too early because you said, a guy who couldn't stay in the game. And I know you weren't taking a shot at him. You were just saying the tap out is what he's known for, injuries, whatever.
Yes.
The concept that they played him right away is so ridiculous for a guy who barely played in college.
Yep.
They ruined him. So if I'm a Packers fan and I can get a guy like that.
It was ridiculous they drafted him fourth. It was ridiculous they drafted him
any which
fourth.
way. But the Packers have done such a great job of having that backup quarterback that this is a Super Bowl or bust type team. So if, God forbid, Jordan Love gets hurt for a game, what they've proven is we can find a guy to still win that same game he's hurt. So that is a more important relevant position than it would be for other teams in this sport.
Yeah. I would add this. First of all, you're 1,000% right. I was not trying to take a shot at him, but that is what he's known for. The reality.
Oh wait, LA's calling. I go to LA. See you guys.
Okay, bye. So the one thing that I liked was that Kevin O'Connell, there's that clip from NFL Films where he pulls Anthony Richardson aside after a Vikings-Colts game and gives him kind of a pep talk.
Seems tampery to me. Seems like tampery.
Yeah, well, again, he was just telling him, just trying to be a supportive guy. That's what KOC is like. But to Evan's point, I do think he was put in a bad spot. At the same time, I'm not sure I agree with Evan's premise. What Malik Willis did was impressive. Look back at the last two times the Packers had to rely on a backup for an extended period. Seneca Wallace wasn't ready. He didn't play well before he got hurt.
Stone Age.
Wait a minute, I'm not done.
Ages.
And then we love Scott Tolzien, but he did not play at a high enough level. And then Matt Flynn came back and bailed him out. In 2017, they had Brett Hundley, who we were told was the best thing since sliced bread, and he wasn't good enough either. So Malik Willis doing what he did, I just don't want to cheapen what he accomplished on such a short turnaround after being acquired. I don't think we can say that the Packers are super good at that. I don't think we have enough evidence to do it. We have evidence that they did a really good job with Malik Willis.
I think you could say Matt LaFleur's did a pretty good job with it.
Sure. But again, it'll be interesting to see who has that role, and it'll be really interesting to see if that player has to play, how he performs, because we got spoiled by what Malik Willis did the last two seasons.
Spoiled. Absolutely. No doubt.
Just like you and I are spoiled by the good people of UW Credit Union as members.
Indeed, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, they're going to help you reach your financial goals. And you ready to give fees the stiff arm? Well, UW Credit Union can help. No monthly fees, overdrafts that never cost more than $5. You'll save members over $12 million per year. And check out that app. That is a fantastic app that UW Credit Union has. Check accounts, make transfers, and more. Very smart play from the pocket. Join today at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Deshaun Kaiser also was not very good, as I'm reminded by
Stone Age.
Kaz.
Back in the Stone Age, though.
I don't think those are Stone Agey.
It's more Stone Agey than you think.
Wasn't Deshaun Kaiser like 8 years ago?
Again, I don't think of that as the Stone Age, but be that
What's
as it
8
may.
times 7, boys? You know
we're
NFL's
doing dog
years,
now.
right?
That's what we're doing. Dog
It is,
years.
yeah. That's 56 years ago in the real world.
That's older than me.
Yeah.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead.
Barely.
Stick around.
Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country. Shop in-store or online at johnsonfitness.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
You, rah, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Ready to make a run. Nick Boyd joining the Jump Around, a Badger-dedicated show. As Bucky preps for March, the Badger guard on why Wisconsin stood out during his transfer process.
Once Wisconsin reached out, and I see, obviously as a basketball junkie, I know the tradition, I know the wins, the losses, and all the championships Coach Gard and Coach Ryan have brought to the university, and just the consistency that Coach Gard has had prior to this one, and that's something I wanted to be a part of.
Full episode available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2032 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2032. Visit PellaWI.com.
Homer here from ESPN Wisconsin. Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business for 130 years, Horicon Bank has helped Wisconsin businesses grow, doing banking differently since 1896. If you're a local business, that same local approach is part of the Milwaukee business community, bringing decisions closer to you. Financing approved in days, not weeks. Bankers who understand your business. Products built for real cash flow needs. When it comes to commercial lending, Horicon Bank gets the job done. Together, doing good for 130 years.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless, and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Thanks again to Evan Cohen for joining us before he had to leave for our L.A. sister station. I do want to get back to the what did we learn from yesterday. Kind of slow going on day 2 here. Haven't seen a lot of tweets from the insiders about signings, and I'm starting to really wonder if Rashid Walker, and Romeo Doubs overestimated their market. Well, I really want to know what's going on there. I'm intrigued.
So the Doubs one, I think everybody is assuming he's going to be over 20 a year. Hopefully he is. But I think, Kendrick Bourne went from San Francisco to Arizona, I think 12 or 13 a year. I don't know where this is going to be really interesting because we all looked at Doubs as a solid 2 in Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Green Bay was never going to pay him a solid 2 money. I think they would have been content maybe paying him a number 3 money.
Mm-hmm.
And you do wonder what happens if it gets to the point where his number is not big. I still think someone is going to pay him in that upper teens, low 20s, and he'll be good to go and roll. But if not, does Green Bay enter back in, or is it, no, we're moving forward? Those will be interesting little things. I would bet Doubs will sign somewhere. I don't know if it'll be during our show, but sometime here in the next day and a half, or I'll be very surprised.
Yeah. I don't know what's in his mind or what his agent is thinking for his market. I had seen, some projections in that 13, 14, 15 million a year range. Again, I don't necessarily think it would be fair, but I still and he answered the bell last season, right? Mm-hmm. But he's never he's never had a 1,000-yard season. He's a good third down guy, good red zone guy. I don't know if there are teams that look at the incident from the 2024 season and have a little bring your own bewaredness about him or not. I would like to think that, like Ted Lasso says, I would hope all of us or none of us are judged on our worst moments. That was obviously not good for him, but I would hope that's not held against him. But I thought he would have a deal yesterday, and I thought Rashid Walker would have a deal yesterday, and neither one of them has found a home.
Wait a second. If you're a general manager, you'd be negligent if you're not holding that against him.
Right. I would agree. I'm not a general manager.
And the same thing that we talked about Jalen Carter, these same things are in play for Green Bay's guys. Romeo Doubs, good young receiver, your most productive receiver.
Why are you letting him
Why
leave?
is he out the door?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Great point. It's probably why he didn't get a first-day deal. Right there, to your point. All right, we'll get into what we learned about the Packers from yesterday's moves. Again, we can add St-Juste to the list and the moving on from Nate Hobbs today. We'll talk about that during the 10 o'clock hour, which will begin after I tell you about Walney Legal Group, which specializes in estate planning, which I'm really excited about this partnership because it's a very important shove into the responsibility that I have shirked to this point. They do wills, trusts, probate, elder care, and special needs planning. They offer a customized, personalized experience. Not that cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all solution stuff. Estate planning is, and I know this firsthand, uncomfortable, but it's also a necessity. And Walney makes it smooth, easy, and painless as possible. They take care of you from start to finish. Their motto, lawyering the way it should be. Clear communication, niche expertise, personal service, and a modern approach. Visit WalneyLegal.com. That's WALNY legal.com to start a conversation no matter what phase you're in. The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. I've been telling you for a while now how much I've loved Pizza Hut since I was a kid, and I love making new memories enjoying it with my family today. Looking for an easy win for lunch or dinner? Pizza Hut's My Hut Box lets you choose your entree. A personal pan pizza, a melt, or now, wings. Boneless or traditional wings start at just $6.99. One box, tons of options, all day, every day. Order on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. feed good times. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hey, this is Jonathan Blackwell of Wisconsin Badgers basketball. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. It's day 2 of the NFL's open negotiation, or as some people call it, the legal tampering period. The Packers have been active the last couple of days. It was reported this morning that they've agreed to terms with cornerback Benjamin St-Juste for a 2-year, $10 million contract. And also yesterday, the Green and Gold traded edge rusher Rashan Gary to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round pick, as well as releasing offensive lineman Elgton Jenkins. And then earlier this morning, they also let go of cornerback Nate Hobbs. Some other players reportedly leaving the Packers. Quarterback Malik Willis agreed to a 3-year, $67 million contract with the Miami Dolphins, as well as linebacker Quay Walker agreeing to a 3-year, $40 million deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, and edge rusher Kingsley Enagbare agreeing to a 1-year, $10 million contract with the Jets. Hour 2 of Wilde and Tausch starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And we want to get to your... Maybe you don't have 3. I struggle to get to 3 per Tausch's request. But what are the 3 things, or 2, or maybe just the biggest thing you learned from day 1 of the free agent negotiating window? I'm with Adam Schefter. Tampering is not legal, so let's not say it's a legal tampering period. It's something else. But what are the takeaways? What lessons did you learn about the Packers from that? As I mentioned mine, Goody, he's sticking with the 1.5 now, not 1.6 retention rate from your draft class. Mm-hmm. As of now, they're on they hit the more if we were doing prize picks for the 2022 class. Christian Watson doesn't count. That's a 1-year deal, but I do believe he will get an extension from this team this year. I had a good conversation. We mentioned it yesterday, but I had a conversation today with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy about I would have some apprehension if they gave him the kind of money that the Colts gave Alec Pierce. They're similar style players, big play, down the field type guys. On top of that, they have Devontae Wyatt under contract for this year on the 5th-year option. But right now, as of today, with Rasheed Walker and Romeo Doubs still yet to find a new home, the Packers have extended 2 players on multi-year deals from their 2022 class, Sean Ryan and Zach Tom. Will they have a third a year from now or sometime during the season with Christian Watson? Will they do an extension with Devontae Wyatt? Not if they trade for Jalen Carter. I don't think they will, but maybe. It'll be interesting to see. Tausch, remind us again, offensive line was the centerpiece of your biggest lesson, correct?
Yeah, the biggest lesson that I've learned is, so far watching how Green Bay has handled free agency is that they have a lot of trust in their former first-round picks. They are trusting 2 players that have had some playing time, but not to the point where you feel like they're proven. And they are rolling the dice that Jordan Morgan can protect their $55 million a year quarterback's blind side. Mm-hmm. And they're also believing that Lucas Van Ness is going to elevate and be the man, the guy, especially early in the season if we don't know where Mike is at. He is their number 1 rush guy until Micah gets back.
It's true.
That's what I've learned. So Goody is in complete trust of his former first-round picks, and there are a lot of skeptics out there that don't think that's a wise move. We shall see, but Brian Gutekunst, as we sit here today at whatever time, 10:19 on the 10th of March, that is where what he believes, and that's subject to change. But what I've learned through these first, hours of the whatever you want to call it, that's the top thing that I've learned.
We will get yours coming up, but we've got our Iron Jock contest here, so I'm not going to ask for calls just yet. But I did want to touch on one thing, and I'm not familiar with this guy's work. He says that he is an NFL draft analyst. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Dave Steger. Stig and Cheese is his Twitter handle. I said that I was a little surprised that they let Kingsley Enagbare out the gate. He got a 1-year, $10 million deal from the New York Jets. You and I talked about it. He was the guy. He made critical plays down the stretch last season, and he also took snaps away from an already not a high snap count guy in Rashan Gary. I didn't think that this was a controversial take, but apparently Dave disagrees. Parsons, LVN, Sorrell, Oliver, and Cox. Wilde is wrong again about them being thin on the edge. Who knew? All right, I'm wrong on occasion, for sure, no doubt about it. I don't think I'm wrong about this. Your depth is, just to be clear, Micah Parsons, who is a great player but is coming off an ACL tear and will not be ready for the opener. LVN, who has not shown that he is a consistently good player, who played with a broken thumb for almost all of 2024 and missed, 6 games with a foot injury last year?
He missed a bunch, yep.
Baron Sorrell, who had some flash moments, but he's not
played great in that Viking game up in the Metro.
99 did shine.
He did indeed. But again, a very small sample size as a rookie.
I like
Oliver,
him. I like him.
I think him too.
I think he's got good wiggle.
Yes.
I think he can be a player.
I like him too. Colin Oliver, who didn't play until that Vikings JV game all season, didn't play. And Brenton Cox, who missed most of the season last year with a groin injury. You're telling me that that's not thin on the edge, Dave? Really?
Well, if they all pan out and be the players that you hope, but you don't project. You project, but when you have championship on your mind, you need some reinforcements, and I believe that the lines of scrimmage and the defensive backfield is where you're going to see most of the Packers draft capital go. I think there's still, just because this legal tampering period is where all of the big money guys get their cash, doesn't mean there's other role players that can fit and come in. If it's some of these, now that we have opened the door on bringing some old guys in, at least one with Franklin, maybe there is an older guy. Maybe Trey Hendrickson's market doesn't develop the way he thinks. I don't think he's going to be a viable option for Green Bay, but maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You do want to have, especially understanding, you can't punt or hope and wait for Micah to get back. Like, by all accounts, he's crushing his rehab like we all knew he would.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't be shocked if he is going to push hard to start the season, not on PUP, and miss. Who knows? I'm not going to discount the fact that he could be back to play some limited reps by the opener. I would say it's not likely, but I'm not going to say it can't happen. But you're going to have a little bit of a period where you want to build him up. You don't want him going out because he is not a low snap count guy. He is a high snap count guy. You can't just punt and think, all right, I need Baron Sorrell to be my number one, and he's going to play 70 or 80% of the snaps. That ain't going to work either. So, yes, I don't mind him pushing on you a little bit on that, but when you are a team that has championship aspirations, I think that is another big dice roll. There's always dice rolls in the NFL. You can't punt on everything. You have to go. You can't sit there with naming that tune and just not ever go down and name a tune. You have to go and make a push and play the game. These guys will, but I would argue you need to at least bring one player in that you know is going to be a bona fide guy that can hold up while Mike is recovering from his ACL.
That seemed like completely unnecessary. The name that tune, Rip. Totally uncalled for.
I was trying to bring it back.
Let's give away some Iron Jock gear, and in this instance, you do have to play by actually calling. Otherwise, you won't win. As opposed to name that tune, which I did win.
That's how it works, and I guess you can sit back and hope that nobody calls, and then you just get it. But an Iron Jock hoodie, which is awesome. Woo! It's a perfect time of the year for a hoodie from Iron Jock. It's a great deal. Caller Hunter, I'm going to let you pick when I get to it. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock, their performance apparel, built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh. No matter how hard you work, from the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Now, you know what? Listeners can get 40% off all Iron Jock T-shirts and polos. Golf courses are open. You need those polos. Code SPRING40 to get 40% off. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com. And your chance to win that awesome Iron Jock hoodie, caller number...
I'm going to go with caller number 70 for the number of games that Benjamin St-Juste has played in his career.
Ooh. Caller 70 to win an Iron Jock logoed up hoodie. It is beautiful. Get on the horn now. 844-770-3776.
844-770-3776. Caller 70 wins this hoodie, which Tausch and I both have one, and they are really, really nice. Caller 70 wins. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. You know what month it is? Well, make sure your March is filled with busting brackets and not busting the bank with your energy bill. Well, I'm here to tell you you can save money and help save the planet with an easy switch to Everlight Solar. Our family is one of many who made the switch to solar over the last several years, but when we first started, we weren't exactly sure what to do. That's when we met with the team at Everlight Solar, and they outlined the entire process and educated us on the benefits of making the switch. It was super simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more. Schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
What's new at Zimbrick Chevrolet? A lot. A free car wash with every service, plus a brand new detail facility to keep your ride looking fresh all year long. Relax with coffee and snacks while you wait, and if you can't, grab one of their numerous service loaners, take the shuttle, or even get a lift on them. Plus, Zimbrick Chevrolet has the largest new Chevrolet inventory in southern Wisconsin, and you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
As a mom, I'm glad my son plays school sports. It's where he has fun with his friends. He contributes to the team. Oh, and he stays out of trouble.
Support your school's athletic programs. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise. From our family to yours, roofing, window, siding, gutters, and doors. Your solution-based company, community strong, and service that will please. Get a free estimate today. The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Molly Brown here for Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home to the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle? Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned Kia, you can browse their extensive inventory and find this month's specials at metrokiaofmadison.com. That's metrokiaofmadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership on the east side of Madison today.
Baseball season is heating up.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center, bye-bye baseball!
Get ready for the return of Brewers baseball on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Congrats to Dave in Verona, who wins the sweet Iron Jock hoodie. Love our partnership with them. Excited to have them on board, and they've been giving away some awesome stuff, so be sure to tune in all week long for your chances to win some Iron Jock gear. Tausch, what was your third lesson that you learned since you shared your first two, so we can maybe get some calls and texts on the Carbless Talk and text line on this?
Yeah, to me, it's that the secondary needs to be reworked, and I think we haven't seen all of that yet. But obviously, the Hobbs move definitely worked. You rip out. We need something new, need something fresh, and I think when you're looking at, I still am curious what we're doing defensively, and we have not heard from Jonathan Gannon how that looks, but obviously. What we saw last year was not good enough, and that part of it, along with some other things, defensive line wise and things like that, that would be my third thing. But again, man, I think I'm just going to keep it to two and focus on what I've really learned, because this is one move that does show you where Goody's head's at. But I think there's more moves to come at that position, and I think you're going to see more competition brought in. To push guys into seeing who can elevate their game to make that a better unit.
Yeah, I thought one of my lessons too was similar to that, and that is they are going to remake their defense at some level with whatever Jonathan Gannon wants to do. We just don't know what the heck it is because we haven't talked to him yet. But when you see kind of where they're headed. They do have good players on defense, right? I think they have 1 to 2 really good players at each level. They've got Micah Parsons up front. I think Edgerrin Cooper will have a bounce-back year. I don't think he had a bad year last year, but he did not have an impactful year last year. And it'll be interesting to see how Jonathan Gannon deploys him versus what Jeff Hafley did while he had Quay Walker also at linebacker. I don't know what to expect from Zaire Franklin. He was really good in 2024, but Eddie Lacy and Mark Tauscher will tell you that the league comes at you fast, so I don't know what to expect. And then I think they got 2 damn good safeties and a really good nickel guy in the back end. I think Javon Bullard is going to be a really good player, and I think their 2 safeties, I would put them up probably against anyone in the league. But I don't know what the heck they're doing at corner. I have not broken down the film of Benjamin St-Juste. I don't know what... I still have this sneaking suspicion that there's some controversy or contractual issue looming with Keyshawn Nixon, and I want to like Carrington Valentine, but they, at least in the previous defense, they really relied on their corners to be physical, and his tackling was not what it needed to be. So, and they're not deep. They're still not deep. They basically swapped out St-Juste for Nate Hobbs now. So they still have a need there, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft. So there's a lot of work to be done still, and there's been a lot of departures. I want to see how they fill those voids. All right, Hunter, save that text. We'll get to it at the start of the next segment because we want to get your thoughts based on what you have seen through the first 24-ish hours. We're just shy of 24 hours of the negotiating window being open. What have you learned about the Packers? What's your biggest takeaway? 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. I'm also curious, do you feel better, worse, or meh? Right now, I'm not really sure after this because there have been a lot of departures, but I don't think there's anyone who's left where you're like, oh, my God, what are we going to do without him? I don't think there's been that either. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. This is more. We'll get to your feedback after I tell you about Associated Bank. I just heard our new commercial for Associated Bank and their Brewers checking. Even more perks than you got before with your Brewers checking. As I wear my old school Brewers hat that some have mistook for a Michigan hat. Lots of great perks, and of course great perks that come with having the best customer service in the industry. Early pay, credit monitoring, fraud protection, everything you need to feel comfortable and confident in your bank. So if you haven't made the switch yet, do it now. AssociatedBank.com. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and your seat at the table just got better at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Return to Hard Rock Casino Rockford's high-limit room, where the odds are in your favor. With enhanced game rules, including blackjack, where the dealer stands on soft 17, you'll enjoy better odds, faster play, and the kind of authentic high-limit action that sets Hard Rock Casino Rockford apart. Visit the high-limit room and rediscover your game on your terms, in your rhythm, and with your edge at Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang!
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
For over a century, one family has helped generations move forward. Christofferson Moving and Storage. They've built a legacy of trust celebrating 120 years in 2026 with transparent, upfront pricing, highly trained professional crews, and flexible services designed around you. They protect your home and belongings with expert care and clear communication every step of the way. Let them handle the heavy lifting so you can focus on what's next. Christofferson Moving and Storage. Your best move since 1906. Get your complimentary quote at ChristoffersonMoving.com.
Planning for your financial future shouldn't feel overwhelming. I'm Brian from Canopy Wealth Management, and I believe your financial plan should be as unique as you are. Whether you're a details person or you prefer the simplified view, we've got you covered. Plus, with our easy-to-use online platform, you can check your progress anytime, anywhere, even at 2 a.m. in your pajamas if that's your thing. At Canopy Wealth Management, we promise care, competence, and clarity in everything that we do. Get started today at canopy-wealth.com.
Paid for by Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience, you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Madison, the countdown is on. Only a few home matches remain for Love Madison this season. March brings special theme nights, multiple matches in 1 week, and some of the biggest moments of the year. Now's the time. Experience pro volleyball right here in Madison. Don't miss your chance to feel the speed, the power, and the electricity inside the arena. It's front row or FOMO. Get your tickets today at lovemadison.com/tickets. That's lovemadison.com/tickets.
Brewers baseball is in the air.
Fly ball, deep left, get going and gone!
Spring back into the baseball season on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. What did you learn from the first day of free agency as a Packers fan about your favorite team? 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more. Let's go right to the phones. Let's go to John in Milwaukee. John, good morning. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How you doing?
Good. So to me, it's pretty obvious that we were learned, right? Goody wants his draft picks to play. He thinks that he's got JJ's replacement in Sorrell. He thinks they're the same guy. Sorrell's got more upside. He thinks he's got Walker's replacement in Morgan. He said it. If you listen to his press conference at the end of the year, what did he say? I think he earned that spot, but because of the injuries, we had to move him around. He thinks that he don't want to see Romeo Dobbs drop onside kicks anymore. He wants Golden to play. He wants his first-round pick to play. You can't play 4 receivers, right? So he wants his 3 best. And he thinks his 3 best are Golden, Watson, and Reed. And then Wicks and Williams will get in his offensive line. He thinks he's got his 5 plus Kennard. Now he needs 1 more. Because if you get to your 8th offensive lineman, you're in trouble anyway, right? No one's got 8 good offensive linemen. So he better be right. His picks better be right. But he wants to see his picks play. That's what he wants. So he doesn't care that JJ's gone because he wants to see Sorrell play. Mm-hmm. And he thinks he's getting his injured players back, and they're going to, be better because of that. Again, now he's got to be right. He's got to make sure his picks are
John,
that they're going to pan out the way he thinks. Yeah.
Quick question for you. Because we used to, in Ted we trust, Do you buy the moniker In Goody We Trust?
I'm a huge fan of his. That's all he does is win. And we are always having this debate because everyone wants to be their own GM, right? But he's gotten 6 out of 8 really right in free agency, right? The Smith brothers, A's, Billy Turner a B, Amos a B, McKinney an A, Jacobs an A. He whiffed on Hobbs and he got rid of him, corrected his mistake, right? That's the Ron Wolf school, right? You make a mistake, you get rid of him. That's the tree he grew up in. Yeah, he whiffed on him, but you don't get them all right. No GM does. And the verdict is out on Banks. So, yeah, I trust Goody. I think, yeah, he misses on draft picks, but everybody does. And you can't sign everybody. And in his mind, Dobbs is a backup. I'm not giving him $12 million a year. And everyone's, Colby Wooden, we have nobody there. But Colby Wooden had a half a sack in 3 years. He is not like, in Goody's mind, he's like, yeah, I'll just play Stackhouse instead of Colby Wooden. I don't care.
And Warren
Colby
Brinson.
Wooden, what's he done? Mm-hmm. And Brinson. And I know we need help there. Everybody knows that. But he doesn't think he lost anything. And he thinks this guy, this Franklin guy that replaced Quay, again, he's got to be right, but he thinks they're the same guy. A bunch of guys that make tackles downfield, that make no impact plays, that can't cover anybody. I mean, Quay couldn't cover anybody. He's really athletic, but he doesn't have instincts like Cooper has. So, he doesn't think that he's lost anybody that matters. That's just the way I see it. I really believe that and one thing we know about Goody, and I think there is a disconnect between him and the coaching staff on that, he wants his players to play, his draft picks. Mm-hmm. He wants them to play. And when they don't, he'll take Preston Smith and ship them out. And he says almost every press conference, you have to listen to what he says. He says it. Yeah, I think those guys should have got more ops. I'd have liked to see them get more opportunities. And every time he says it, he's saying it about a draft pick.
So let me ask you this, John. First of all, this has been a great call. Okay, this is phenomenal. I'm so glad you called. I hope we get more calls like yours. Can I push back on you on one thing? Because, again, I believe Goody is a good to very good GM. I don't think he's as great as some people think, okay?
Yep.
All he does is win, is accurate in terms of they have been a winning team all but 1 year of all but 2 years, I guess, because 18 they weren't either. 18 and 22 during the Rodgers, McCarthy, and then Rodgers, LaFleur last year together. Is this philosophy good enough to win a title, though? Because I think he is very much laid out, because you're right about wanting his draft picks to play.
Well, Jason, what is his philosophy, though?
So
he's not draft and develop.
Yeah, so he likes to say it's draft and develop, but it's really draft and replace. With a few exceptions, 1.5 per draft class. Right? Because, and look, I don't think that this is a flawed approach. The question I have is, it gets you wins, does it get you titles? And I'm not killing him. I'm not. I know I get criticized for being that I hate Goody, and I don't. I really, truly don't. Didn't like it when he lied to me, but that's a different story. But he said this in 2023, and when he said it, my ears perked up, and ever since then, because look, during his tenure, he had Aaron Rodgers, and he had a GM a certain way because he had an aging Hall of Fame quarterback. Now he's doing it his way. And what he said in 2023 is you play your young guys, they go through the growing pains, and then during the course of that season, they get beyond that, and they're fully formed or close to fully formed NFL players, and they play at a higher level. And that was undeniably true in 2023. All those guys played a ton as rookies and second-year guys. And what did they do by the end of the season? They won a playoff game in Dallas and had the 49ers on the ropes with their first-year starting quarterback and a bunch of young dudes. The last 2 years, they've lost in the first round of the playoffs. So my question to you, since you said all he does is win, is do you believe that this philosophy can get you a title, or is it always going to have you competing and in the mix, but unless you get some other pieces, it might not be quite enough?
I think that is a concern, and I would say that everything needs to go their way because they always win, so they're never drafting really high. They're always against the cap because they always have a great quarterback, which takes away a significant portion of their money they can spend. So he needs, I think this year, I don't think Seattle was special. I think if the Packers are healthy, we can beat Seattle. I think I've told people, and they're like, oh, you're just making excuses because I'm a self-admitted homer. But when you play without Edgerrin Cooper, and you play without Devontae Wyatt, Micah Parsons, Zach Tom, and Tucker Kraft, you're beating nobody. The Bears should have beat them by 3 touchdowns. And Mark's brought up, they melted down. You got to win that game. I agree. But they ran out of juice. There's nobody. Those are your 5 best football players. Now, maybe you can drop McKinney in there if you want, but the point is, right, that's their 5 best. They have a better chance of winning that game, 100%. If those 5 guys are playing and Malik Willis is playing, they beat the Bears by 2 touchdowns. So they need a little luck, too. You can't get decimated with injuries. And I know it's an excuse. And guys like Mark, they play it and they're right. It's the next man up. But it isn't the next man up. Let's put it this way. Let's say that these 5 guys got hurt instead. Musgrave, Isaiah McDuffie, Colby Wooden, nobody would care. It would be irrelevant, right?
Matters.
Nobody would care.
Yep. And Edgerrin Cooper
who gets hurt.
By the way, I'm glad you brought up Edgerrin Cooper because that's the drum I kept beating. He was having the best game of his season, the most impactful game of his season, and then he gets hurt in the third quarter. They give up 25 fourth quarter points. Those are related.
And nobody could cover Loveland, and that was all because of Cooper. And I get it. I get the next guy's got to step up. But again, if we're talking about the guys I just mentioned that are hurt, nobody cares if Musgrave's hurt and McDuffie's hurt. The drop-off's not very big. You can't be good at every position and then have good backups at every position. No team does. So to answer your question, I think to get over the hump, they got to stay healthy 1 year where they're healthy. And then, was Seattle special? We certainly know New England wasn't special. I don't think Seattle was special. I mean, they were good. They won the Super Bowl, but this was the year that there was no team like the Eagles, where they were just the best team. And if they didn't win, you'd be surprised, right? That wasn't Seattle. The Packers are in the hunt, but Seattle lost for 3 out of 4 years. They didn't make the playoffs. That helps you get better. The Packers are always so good that sometimes it's a detriment almost because they don't get the high picks. They don't have cap space. And you always have to do that when you have 12, right? You can't take a year off or 2 years off and try to rebuild. And now we got Love. We're paying him $55 million a year, and he's getting better every year. And people are all over him. Caleb Williams is better. He threw for 4 touchdowns and 350 yards, right? Some crazy number. I mean, that wasn't a Love thing. I know we went 3 and out, but again, if you look at how injured they were, we couldn't run the ball in the red zone. Well, that's because we didn't have Tucker Kraft. He opens up the whole red zone. So Josh Jacobs had nowhere to go. Again, I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for them, but I think the injuries they had this year were – you can't overcome those 5 guys in a playoff game.
You and I
That's
must
my
both be.
opinion.
We must both be homers because that's been my argument.
John,
as well.
thanks for the call. Listen, man, I am not arguing. Had we went into Seattle and lost and got beat, 31-20, I'm not going to argue with you on that. But you said we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. Yeah, we could. We did it. The first half was proof in the pudding. And that's why I have such pushback. And, yeah, you could bring up Edgerrin Cooper getting hurt. Yep, that's fair. He didn't play offense. That Bears defense wasn't very good.
No, you're right.
It wasn't very good. So all of the things that we're talking about, I am not saying that we should have won a championship this year because those injuries are devastating. No question. But to lose to the Bears the way we did, that's more about the makeup than it was about the injuries to me. We couldn't run the football. That's why we need to improve that. We're kind of running it back. You tell me if that's going to be better. We'll find out. Guys can develop. Belton's going to get a lot better. Maybe a left tackle. Maybe we'll be better running, as a run blocking unit. I don't know. We'll find out. But the complaints or the reasoning or the excuses of, well, they're injured. No question. And at some point, you run out of gas like we did against Atlanta back in 2016 when we got Gooch playing right guard and, Ladarius Gunter guarding
Julio Jones. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. I didn't get up here and say we were a better team. We should have won it. I was like, yeah, we got smoked. We deserved it. That's how it plays.
That's true.
That Bears game this year, what happened in the first half, it should not have been that big of a swing.
You're right.
That wasn't because we didn't have Tucker or Micah. Obviously, that would have helped. Maybe we would have been ahead by 35 instead of 18. I don't know. But you can't equate the two, in my opinion. That part I would push back on John.
Yeah. And look, if they're playing Seattle in Seattle and they have those guys, I'm still not sure that they win there. All those guys he talked about, I don't know. That's why you were right about the most important number one seed. Like, Packers didn't take advantage of it when they had it back in 21, but you're telling me that the Seahawks didn't hugely benefit from that? In fact, playing one fewer game and then winning two at home?
Let me be blunt, and I've said this. If they lost that Thursday night game like they should have, the Rams beat them, we would be talking about the Rams as the world champions. There is not a doubt in my mind. And I bet if you ask John Schneider, and he might BS you, but you go grab a couple cold ones with him after, he'd say, yeah, that road would have been too tough.
Yep. You're right. All right, we'll get to more of your calls and texts on the Carbless Talk and Text line. What did you learn from day one of the free agent negotiating window? I've learned, and we've got a planned trip down there coming up soon. I've learned that our trips to Hard Rock Casino Rockford are always fun for us.
It's a premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois, and I know Jesse has made that trip down there. This is the best time of the year to go down to that great sports book that the Hard Rock Casino Rockford has. Offers the most generous and most frequent promotions of any casino in the Midwest. And you know what? If you, let's say your wife or you love slots more, you know what? Head down there this Friday, part of the $40,000 Gold Rush Progressive Drawing on Fridays in March. Starting at 11 a.m. on Fridays, one lucky guest will be selected to win free slot play. Winners will have 3 minutes to claim their prize. Drawings will continue until a winner is validated for that final drawing. Play, dine, shop, enjoy live shows and the sports book. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhafels. Shop Steinhafels, make it your own sale. Save 10% store-wide plus 5% more on $999 or more in-store and on Steinhafels.com. Nick Boyd joining the Jump Around, a Badger-dedicated show. As Bucky preps for March, the Badger guard on why Wisconsin stood out during his transfer process.
Once Wisconsin reached out, and I see, obviously as a basketball junkie, I know the tradition, I know the wins, the losses, and all the championships Coach Gard and Coach Ryan have brought to the university, and just the consistency that Coach Gard has had prior to this one, and that's something I wanted to be a part of.
Full episode available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2032 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2032. Visit PellaWI.com.
Sure, you've got school spirit, but does your jewelry box?
At Chalmers Jewelers, we're proud to be an official retailer of University of Wisconsin jewelry.
Featuring the iconic Motion W, Bucky Badger, and more.
Prices start at just $65.
Whether you're tailgating, jumping around, or shouting on Wisconsin, let your jewelry join the celebration because even Bucky loves a little bling.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yuengling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yuengling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated, by drinking it. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
We're on the Badgers.
All of the great moments, beating Illinois, beating Michigan State.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It doesn't mean anything at all if they don't get to a second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
We'll get to the 11 o'clock hour coming up. Let's get to at least one text before we get there, though. Hunter Vaughn, our cousin sub of the day for Jesse. Cousin subs, we believe in better. This is from Steve-O in SoCal. Steve-O! In Goody We Trust? Please! You've got to be kidding me! This is my interpretation of his text.
No, I think you're reading his tone pretty well.
Thanks.
I would agree with your tone reading.
This Packers roster is mediocre at best, and Goody is to blame! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Another second place finish in the NFC North.
4 years in a row. We have an Olympiad of not winning the division, so
it's like that old.
Year.
It's like that read from Pella from the previous month? 4 years, you can get a college degree. You can send your baby off to kindergarten. It has been a while since the Pack has won the North.
Well, I think Steve-O in SoCal and John and everybody else, it was right in front of us. I had not thought of it because I am not the Goody stan I once was, but I still am a Goody stan.
Mm-hmm.
Do Packer fans trust Goody? Because there is a lot of trust being asked here. This roster wasn't deep enough last year. I think when fully loaded, we all thought this was a championship caliber team. I'm not going to go down that road again, Lord knows. But do we believe and trust? Because, Ted, we knew Ted had a philosophy, and we knew what it was. Draft guys, they weren't getting cut. They were going to get time to develop. And if you were good, you were going to get a second contract. That is what Ted did. And I know somebody on Twitter yesterday is getting after us for citing a Packer Twitter feed, the list. And listen, man, I'm not going to vet every blank list. If I think a list is interesting, I'm gonna read it.
Sure.
I thought it was interesting because it gave us a really good reminder of how good of a GM Ted Thompson was. Not at the end, but in his heyday, man, he cooked. Ted Thompson cooked, and that's why we were in the mix for multiple championships. We only got one, but we gave a couple away. Brian Gutekunst, you said this, and I thought it was interesting. Draft and replace. Is that a philosophy?
That's my interpretation of his philosophy.
What do you think his philosophy is?
No, I think that's what I think it is.
Replace?
And then and special guys that really are truly special, then you extend them and continue to develop them.
And then if you don't, you just keep going young and you hope you trust your talent evaluation.
It puts a lot of pressure on you as an evaluator, though, boy.
Oh, boy. You're right, old boy.
You can't, you can't, sorry. You can't say, like John did in his call, well, every GM misses picks. He's right. They do. But if you are draft and develop / draft and replace, you have put yourself in a position where your margin for error is smaller. And then, as we've talked about many times, then you do have to utilize free agency to make up for the misses you've had, which we've been through those again and again and again.
That was the biggest problem fans had with Ted.
Yep.
Is that he didn't even utilize or look at that avenue. Very rarely. When he did, he was big time.
He nailed it.
But it was very few and far between. And I think this is a shift. And the In Goody We Trust, I do trust Goody. I don't know how many of our fans do. I think we should poll it because this is the time of the year where you find out, all right, this is what Goody's doing. You won't know until you know. And right now we have been the 7th seed. We have been just good enough to get into the playoffs, and we have not been good enough to win playoff games the last 2 seasons. That's 14 years in real-world terms. Mm-hmm. That's a long time for the Green Bay Packers. So he went and made the big splash. I loved it. It's a great move. The Micah Parsons move needs to result in a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was not a good move. And Micah has been everything we'd hoped. And I hope that he gets back and is healthy and is doing the same thing. But right now, Goody is putting a lot on his young guys that he drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Said that as my number one takeaway. That is what he's doing. Whether or not that's the right move, we won't know probably until October or November.
All right. I think we've got trivia still. We've got Woe Hunter. I want to ask, this is a great question to ask now. I know we've asked it in the past, but with where we're at the moment, because there could be some big things coming, right? Our guy Reek Woolen with a ... I don't know what that means. I hate, and I know hate's a strong word, but I hate cryptic social media posts. I don't like them at all. They can be fun, but I don't enjoy them. But I think I'm glad you asked this, but I would like to even carry it over to tomorrow. But let's get a poll in the field. We can do that. But in the vein of hashtag In Ted We Trust, which I know there were some who didn't, are you in the hashtag In Goody We Trust crowd?
What do you think? What do you think?
I think more people do than don't belong in that group, in the Packers fan base. But I don't think it is as fervent or as large of a margin as it once was. I think there's been some reduction there, but I still think, look, again, he gets credit for drafting Jordan Love. He did a very bold thing before the start of the season. I don't think we should be taking that away from him. I think his draft picks there have been good draft picks. No one's saying he misses on all of them. And he's been really good with free agency, making up for the misses that he had, the high-profile misses in drafts. I think he is a good to very good GM. I don't think he's a great GM. And I think we're starting to see, maybe if you thought that once upon a time, you're taking a small step back on that opinion. We'll get that poll in the field. We'll continue the conversation after Tausch tells us about American Family Insurance.
Oh, American Family Insurance, been a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection. Also, you are free to enjoy your dreams, so insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, trusted and local experts providing the best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed at an affordable price. Get your free estimate today at ridgetopexteriors.com. It's day number 2 of the open negotiation period in the NFL, and the Packers have been active here early on. This morning, it was announced that they had agreed to terms with cornerback Benjamin St-Juste for a 2-year, $10 million contract. And yesterday, the Green and Gold trading edge rusher Rashan Gary to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round pick in this 2026 NFL draft. The Packers also releasing offensive lineman Elgton Jenkins and cornerback Nate Hobbs. Some other players leaving the Packers. It is reported that quarterback Malik Willis agreed to a 3-year, $67 million contract with the Miami Dolphins. Linebacker Quay Walker agreeing to a 3-year, $40 million deal with Las Vegas. And Kingsley Enagbare agreeing to a 1-year deal with the Jets.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. We'll get that poll in the field, although it appears that I don't remember the password for the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed, so hopefully Jesse's listening or Hunter has access to that. I went to put the poll up, and I was unable to. So
I could take a look and see if I have
we'll
access.
work on that. Oops. Otherwise, we've got a lead topic for tomorrow. But Big Cat, Josh DiMaggio, down in the ESPN Milwaukee Grubel offices, one call That's All Studios, posed a really interesting question in our little private group chat. Because how does your view of Goody change, and how does this conversation change if he's got something big cooking? Because look, I don't necessarily subscribe to the theory that they traded Rashan Gary and released Elgton Jenkins, ergo they have a big move coming because that cleared $30 million in cap space. I believe they needed to move on from those guys regardless, and I don't think they moved on from them purely to clear cap space to go trade for Reek Woolen or to trade for Jalen Carter or whatever dream scenario you have cooked up in your Packers fan brain. I would also add, and I think Big Cat would agree with this, trading for Micah Parsons felt like a pipe dream move too, and it happened. So we have to at least allow for that possibility. At the same time, as you well know, there is one player for sure that they want to sign to an extension who is now extension eligible. And his name is Tucker Kraft.
That is correct.
Is Jaden Reed going to be in that group? Is Christian Watson going to be in that group? Are there other players that merit that? Certainly there's conversations to be had. But just because they've cleared cap space doesn't mean they need to use it on some outside acquisition that is going to be expensive and going to need a new contract.
But quick question, because with Hobbs, Green Bay usually pays as they go.
Hey, you're
Why make that a June
That's a
1?
great point. Mm-hmm. Great point.
Because
the fact that they made him June.
That tells
now,
me.
Important, though, by putting it as post-June 1, you don't get access to that until after June 1. You don't get the cap money now. So I don't know what that means. Maybe that's we can spend some money now, and then we're going to get a little bit more cap relief on June 1st so we can extend one of those players I just mentioned.
Well, what I initially thought when I heard that is, well, maybe there is something big cooking.
Yeah.
Because you want that money now. That's typically what the G&G do. So they want to just, let's take our medicine. Remember, Aaron Rodgers, $40 million in dead cap. It's a good day.
Good day.
Remember that quote? It's a good day. This is atypical for what Green Bay does. And when you do something atypical, you start thinking. You windy it a little bit and say, why? I don't know. Maybe there's something big brewing. I hope there is. I like it big. We like big moves, and we cannot lie here on Wilde and Tausch.
Indeed, we do.
Thanks. I was a little late, Hunter, but not. But
well, I don't think he was prepared for me to laugh as heartily as I did.
It was also I was trying to use the space, let it sit a little bit, let it simmer.
Let people kind of bask in what a good line that was. Sure. Yeah.
Well, well done, Hunter.
So Tausch, so we can make this a more extensive topic tomorrow. Let me just ask you this follow-up question. You acknowledge that you're not as big of a Goody stan as you once were. And you and I would go round and round on occasion about that. Why has your Goody standum, it hasn't evaporated, but it has cooled a little bit? What is the reason for that?
Offensive line. I think, we've seen the big moves that we love here. The Micah Parsons, the Jock. There's been big moves that have been done, but I really feel like we got a little bit out over our skis and did some things emotionally last year. The Philadelphia game was bad. Elgton gets hurt. This is 2 playoffs ago. And it just felt like we kind of went away from how we do business because we got bully-balled.
Mm-hmm.
And the O-line was not terrible that year. The O-line was much better 2 years ago than it was last year. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, but it was more consistent. And we went and did wholesale changes, which, by the way, no problem doing it. If that's the way you feel, I just felt like we were way too reactive. It's not how we do things in Green Bay typically. And when you do that, you did all that shuffling, and you didn't have the continuity that you hope for and that you need in an O-line. And we saw that play itself out, so we really have been looking now. The group has not been as good as I think we had hoped, and Goody, to his credit, utilizes resources and knows how important that position is. But he hadn't gotten it right. And I can't sit here in good faith and say, Goody's done it right, man. Goody's the king. Oh, I think Goody's done a really good job. You guys always make fun of me for saying he flipped that roster from that dark day when Mike McCarthy got ripped, and we're in an NFC Championship game a year and some change later. He deserves a lot of credit for that. He deserves a ton of credit for Jordan Love. He deserves a lot of credit for jumping into the free agency pool when we need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the last year and a half or 2 years, the way things have shaken out, it has not worked. And from my perspective, I can still think you're a very good GM, but a little of the luster has kind of shown off. Because that has been such a key part to why I think we haven't reached the goals that the Green Bay Packers as an organization have.
We will discuss this further tomorrow because I really like this topic and I want to delve into it more deeply. But I do think it's interesting that you are kind of where you are on this. And we will see what happens on that offensive line because we have a pretty good idea who the starting five now are. And Jordan Morgan better be good. And in fairness to Jordan Morgan, he's been jerked around for 2 years. He walked in the first day of the rookie camp and said, I want to play left tackle. It's the only position I've ever played. All of high school, all of college. Well, now you got what you wanted, right? I mean, unless somehow Rasheed Walker comes back. But I doubt that. You got what you wanted. So what are you going to do with it? Anthony Belton is a premium draft pick. Second-round picks are premium picks. The next 2 years, the Packers' first picks will be in the second round. They need him. He played well for a rookie. Do we agree? He needs to now play well for an NFL player. They need Zach Tom to stay healthy. They need Sean Ryan to be a legit center and not be you know what? For a guy that got thrown into the deep end of the pool at center, he did okay. He's got to be better than that, and the contract would imply that. And then they need Aaron Banks to be worth the $43 million they will have paid him in like a 14-month window here. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be a tough year, including for the quarterback. Hunter, let's play some trivia. Did you get to do the trivia questions? Are you still shadow banned? Where do we stand on trivia right now?
I didn't get to do the trivia questions. And at this point, I've kind of become okay with it. Like, Jesse doesn't trust me with trivia, that's fine. I'll let him not trust me. I think I've had the most entertaining Wilde and Tausch trivia, so if he doesn't want an entertaining show, that's on him. I'm not bitter about it at all.
You don't sound even remotely bitter. No, not at all. The category, Packers No More. All the answers or all the questions are related to...
Is it K-N-O-W or N-O?
No, N-O. Good question, though. Very good follow-up question. I like that. Hunter, do you want to at least pick the caller since you didn't write the trivia questions?
Let's go caller 15.
Caller 15 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 15 plays trivia after Tausch tells us again about UW Credit Union.
Oh, indeed. For every U, UW Credit Union is here. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And ask, what perks do you all get? Well, you get your money up to 2 days sooner with early payday. You don't have fees. You get that checking account with no monthly fees at UW Credit Union. You get unique, exclusive debit cards you only get at UW Credit Union. They've partnered up with the UW schools, teams, and artists to create debit card designs that are unique to you. They're out in the community. They're on these campuses. They're everywhere in the state of Wisconsin. We love UW Credit Union. Join today at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. Now, you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. I loved it then, and I love enjoying Pizza Hut making new memories with my family now. And speaking of making memories, it's almost tournament time. With conference titles on the line and the countdown on to Selection Sunday, Pizza Hut is giving you a great chance to build your own starting five. Right now, get a large pizza for just $10 with up to 5 toppings. Your choice of crust, hand-tossed, thin and crispy, tavern, or pan. Carry out only, 5 toppings, $10. Now that's some tournament depth you can depend on. Feed good times with your starting five for just $10 at Pizza Hut. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Gruber Law Offices, serving the people of Wisconsin for over 30 years. Call us today if you've been injured. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
My fiance wanted to incorporate me in the process of picking out my engagement ring. And we went to Chalmers, and that was the first place that we went to look for rings.
The staff educated us right away, and we felt very comfortable, and I learned a lot about diamonds.
Chalmers did a great job explaining the process to us, the type of grade of the diamond.
Oh, just from the second you walk in, I mean, there's somebody who's taking you over, showing you exactly what you want in your price range.
I think that my ring is the most beautiful ring I've ever seen, thanks to Chalmers Jewelers.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Henningsen with Stoughton Health Ortho Team Clinic. I specialize in joint pain and joint pain surgery, specifically hip and knee replacement, including second-time surgery for hip and knee replacement.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
It's bracket season, and there's no better place to watch the tournament than right on the water at Christie's Landing. Join me and the guys from KBN, Kyle, Bruss, and Ortman, on Thursday, March 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. We'll be on upset alert as all the drama unfolds. Grab your crew and enjoy Bud Light buckets and Neutral buckets, 5 for the price of 4 drinks, a slam dunk of a deal. Tip off the basketball tournament with KBN at Christie's Landing, Thursday, March 19th from 2 to 5 p.m.
Hi, it's Eric with Canopy Wealth Management. Taxes are intricate, and even smart savers can unknowingly work against themselves without a clear tax strategy. At Canopy, we help you assess your options and you make more intentional decisions with your money. Small adjustments today can lead to meaningful differences in your long-term financial future. At Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, clarity is not just a tagline, it's our promise. Get started today at canopy-wealth.com.
Paid for by Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Well, Hunter was not entrusted with the questions for Wilde and Tausch trivia, but he did get something else that we always love. Time now for trivia presented by Iron Jock and Cousin Subs.
Well, that button's not working, so...
Trivia is brought to you by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs, and I don't remember the rest. So we'll work on playing that after trivia, but we did get ourselves a first-time contestant. Let's welcome in Andrew in Milwaukee. Andrew, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We are great. I always ask this of first-time contestants. Long time trying to play trivia, or did you get in on the first time you tried?
Long time trying.
All right, well, let's make the most of it. It's not the number of calls you make. It's the making the most of the call, or something like that. Question one is this. Quay Walker was selected with the 22nd overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Which fellow Georgia Bulldogs defensive player did the Packers select 6 picks later with the 28th overall pick in the same draft? Was it Devontae Wyatt, Eric Stokes, or why it's so hard to remember all the Georgia players Goody has drafted?
I think I'm going to go with Devontae Wyatt.
You would wisely do so. Indeed, Eric Stokes, the first-round pick in 2021. Question 2, Andrew, is this. Which of these teams did Malik Willis start against and not win during his 2 seasons as the backup quarterback with the Green Bay Packers?
Good question.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
There's no way Hunter would have come up with it. All right.
True.
Which of these teams did he start against but not win? Tennessee Titans, Baltimore Ravens, or Indianapolis Colts?
I think it's the Ravens in 2025.
He beat the Titans. He beat the Colts. They lost to the Ravens. Probably not his fault he didn't play run defense in that game. And no one else did either. Andrew, question 3 is this. Kingsley Enagbare accumulated 1 fumble recovery during his 4 seasons with the Green Bay Packers.
Check that.
I think just read what it says. Accumulated, was credited with, had 1 fumble recovery during his 4 seasons with the Packers. It occurred in a December home game. The Packers lost at Lambeau Field. Which team was the opponent when Kingsley Enagbare got that fumble recovery?
This question sucks. For the record.
This is awful.
This is more like a me question.
Yeah, this is long and kind of boring.
Correct answer is Gerald Ford. All right, so against which opponent did Kingsley Enagbare have his lone fumble recovery of his Packers career in that fateful December home game that the Packers lost at Lambeau Field? Was the opponent the Baltimore Ravens, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Arizona Cardinals?
You said it was the Buccaneers, Ravens, or Cardinals?
Again, just to repeat, the Ravens, the Buccaneers, or the Cardinals?
The Buccaneers.
I gotta be honest. I have no idea how you did that. Would you admit that was
I
pure
just knew
luck?
we didn't play the Cardinals, that it was a trap shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. You did get it. That late season loss was on December 17th, 2023. They lost
Yeah,
34
Baker
to
carved us up that day.
Yeah, I think he had a perfect passer rating in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think then Old Boy, that was the day they decided Old Boy was no longer going to be with the G&G. JB. All right?
Joe Barry. Yes.
Joe Barry.
Okay, yeah. But hey, Kingsley Enagbare had a fumble recovery that day, so the defense did something right. Andrew, what a debut! A miraculous correct answer on question 3, which sucked. You got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show and for playing today, Andrew. Have a good one. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, you too.
I got to be honest. I had to look that up, and once I remembered it was 2023, then I knew it was the Baker game. Hunter, how do you evaluate those questions?
I think I could have done better on this. This is where I'm starting to get a little frustrated about my shadow ban from trivia. Like, that's the question we go with on a Tuesday.
Is it shadow banning if you're upfront and super honest about being banned?
I'm upfront about it. Jesse skirts it, avoids answering. He won't acknowledge it.
Jesse has told us that you're not allowed. I don't think there's anything shadowy about your ban.
No, he's put like a 2-producer suspension on. But at this point, I've filled in a number of times, and he has not even offered.
Yeah, you're right. It's a shadow ban because he does the show sheet even though you're producing, which we appreciate. But he could leave the trivia open for you to do, and he doesn't.
Correct.
So he does it so you're not technically banned. He just already did it.
Yep.
In fairness to Jesse, everybody gives him grief for not wanting to work that hard, and then he does extra work when he is taking a day. I mean, you can't have it both ways. We can have it both ways.
You're right. Well, you can have your trivia questions and the day off too.
I do
bottom
think
line
I
is
fixed
this.
The sponsorship though.
Oh, you should hit that button again.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I think it should work.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs. Their lobster salad sub is fresh, flavorful, and only here for a limited time. Try it today.
All right, we've got development, not free agent related. Josh DiMaggio, sources close to the program says that he was asked to do the trivia questions and declined, which forced Jesse to do them. I think that makes it worse because that means he sought out someone else to do them, and it wasn't you.
Yep. Now
that's
I'm
a
feuding
big slap
with Jesse.
to Hunter's
This
I would
is
take
bad.
that personally. You and Michael Jordan. All right. That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia, such that it is. We will not ban Hunter from Whoa Hunter, which is coming up after I tell you that you don't need to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship to feel like you've escaped. Your next getaway is waiting in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay, the biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee. Nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites, perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big. I've even stayed in one. They're beautiful. Plus, are you hungry? You got plenty of options. Premium steaks at Dream Dance Steakhouse, pizza, burrito, quick bites at the marketplace, Rockin' Brews for a high-energy vibe, the Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company, food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Whoa Hunter is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. But you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. Get 0% APR for 24 to 60 months on new 2025 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter cargo and crew vans. This also includes the courtesy vehicle fleet, where Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans have over 12 currently that qualify. Excludes e-Sprinter, Sprinter 30th Edition Cargo. Monthly payments for 24 months equals $41.66 per $1,000 borrowed. Monthly payments for 60 months equals $16.67 per $1,000 borrowed. No down payment required. Minimum is $20,000 financed. Maximum $100,000 financed with approval through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Stop in off the Beltline and Rimrock Road or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com and check out the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter area, and you'll walk away with a vehicle that will help maximize your business. This offer expires March 31st, 2026. So hurry up and you'll be driving a new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, what a great song to lead into potentially the best segment of the day. Time now for Whoa Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
So I've talked about before on this segment how I spend a ridiculous amount of time on TikTok. And I actually got a good topic idea off of it instead of just pointless, useless things.
Wait a minute. I see. So when Sydney plays in volleyball tournaments, I see girls from her team and other teams doing TikTok dances that they then post. Does that mean you and your wife are at home doing some dances that you're posting?
No.
Because I'm interested in you dancing. I got to be honest.
No, I don't do any dancing. I spend a lot of time on either sports or like movie TikTok, where people agree that Superman doesn't suck. But take that somebody had, or a question that somebody had, and I thought it'd be great for the show today. They wanted to know, what is your team's, quote, Jason Heyward? So a guy that comes onto the scene, is really good, but then doesn't long-term pan out. And the first guy for me that came to mind was the Milwaukee Bucks' 6th overall pick, Yi Jianliang, who was the player of the month when he first came to the Bucks in December of 2006, that would have been, but then obviously his career didn't do anything. So who's the guy that you think of when you think of somebody like that?
Can I ask a follow-up question first?
Yeah.
What exactly... Jason Heyward... he played for Houston? Who does he play for?
Oh, now I have no idea, but his first year with Atlanta, he hit like 293, and then I think he maybe hit 270 one time after that.
Apparently he's with the Padres now, or was with the Padres.
Wow.
Dude's played 16 years in the Major League Baseball, by the way. Longer than Yi did in the NBA.
So he's lasted a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, he's lasted, but I'm saying, like, for what his first season was, he was not what you're like, oh my gosh, this young guy is doing this. He's going to elevate to this next level, and he never did that.
Career 255 hitter, a 336 OBP.
All right, I'll answer the question, even though it's very abstract, and Jason had to go research who Jason Heyward even was. But Brady Anderson for the Orioles, nothing, 50 home runs one season, nothing. So Brady Anderson is the answer that I'm going to give you.
No idea who that is.
Oh, the shoe's on the other foot now. Didn't he get caught up in the performance-enhancing realm after that 50 home run season as well? So Sam Congatto doesn't count? That's
counts.
Who I thought of first.
Yeah.
One of Tausch's former teammates, the doctor, now. Josh DiMaggio chimes in with Keston Hiura.
Oh, that was magical when he was just raking for about a month and a half.
Young guy who never turned into a superstar is the definition that some are sharing with me. This is a good question. I'm just not... Sam Congatto was pretty weak sauce by me. I'm trying to think of Packers who fit this bill. I will say, given the hype around him during training camp and the first week or two of his rookie season, I thought that Luke Musgrave was going to be like the second coming of Jermichael Finley. Not much for blocking, but a lot of catches and a lot of down-the-seam big plays. I don't know if that makes him Jason Heyward or not.
Whoa, Nelly! The last one I've got here for you guys, the World Baseball Classic is going on, and in Japan, they're playing in the Tokyo Dome. They have a ice cream sandwich that is shaped like the Tokyo Dome. I've got it up on the stream for people to see. So the top of it looks like the Tokyo Dome, and then the inside, it is wall-to-wall ice cream. And I think this is the perfect ice cream sandwich, and now I want to see AmFam Field do this. But is there like another stadium that you think this could work with?
Why is it the perfect ice cream sandwich?
Because most other ice cream sandwiches, you only have stuff on the top and the bottom. This is fully encased in cone.
And that's like ice cream cone substance?
Yeah.
Not like the traditional American ice cream sandwich, which has got that chocolatey outside that then gets stuck to your fingers.
Oh, so that's crispy. The edges there are crispy.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now. The crispy cone-like exterior has me intrigued. I will give Hunter that. I am intrigued.
So what would be a good stadium for them to do this with? Because you can't do like Lambeau because it's got the open top. Then you're just eating out of a Lambeau bowl.
Oh, good point. What? So would you? Wait a minute. The roof at AmFam Field is retractable. So do you only put it over like half of the ice cream?
Or you have to like kind of break it open like those little like chocolate things where they pour a hot substance on it and it breaks open.
Yeah, the yes.
Some fine dining at AmFam.
These are some great
July.
ideas. I can't believe, for as obscure as I was struggling with Jason Heyward, this is a good topic.
Well, thank you.
So what's your answer?
I thought did I not just give it with the retractable roof?
He kind of did.
Not only that, I innovated. I did
Hunter
a Tausch.
Hunter said
upgraded
AmFam Field. Okay. I want an open air. I want an open air stadium. I want it just to be one side where if you're looking to cut cows, you don't want to have a double edge. So I want open air. I'm going to say Fenway Park. I want one side of it to be a big green monster and the other just to be kind of open air. So I'm going to go Fenway Park.
That's great because then the green the monster, you can make that like a piece of mint. So then if you've got the cone...
not for Tausch. She hates mint.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
Then you can make it optional. You could have some green painted chocolate or something.
Green painted chocolate. All right, we've gone beyond our...
We're going to get to Rich Eisen today on time, which is good.
After Tausch tells us about Prize Picks one more time.
Oh, I will. Right now, download that Prize Picks app. It is the perfect time of the year, March, to get started on Prize Picks. I got all these games going on. Grab your phone, download the Prize Picks app, use code WI. You get $50 in lineups when you get that first $5 lineup. It is simple to play. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. You get them right, you cash in. You can build lineups across everything, but boy, oh boy, can't say that term, but you know what's going on in this month of the year. I've got to be very cautious with that. I like the flexibility as well. Flex play, you can get paid even if one pick misses and you want a bigger payout. Go power play, and with the early payouts, your player gets off to a hot start. Cash in before the game even ends. Download the Prize Picks app, use code WI, and you will get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, use code WI for the $50. Prize Picks, it's good
to be right. We'll wrap things up in time for Rich Eisen next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
All of the great moments, beating Illinois, beating Michigan State.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It doesn't mean anything at all if they don't get to a second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and I can't wait until we get back to playing football again. But since it's going to be a little bit before we do that, you know what makes it feel more like football season? The cool, refreshing taste of an ice-cold Coors Light. No matter what season it is, whether it's before, during, or after a big game, or you just need a moment to chill, crack open a Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's actually made to chill. The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans turn blue when chilled to perfection, which, besides the refreshing taste, is my favorite thing about drinking Coors Light. Refreshingly cold and only 102 calories, Coors Light is made to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
You rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Nick Boyd joining the Jump Around, a Badger-dedicated show. As Bucky preps for March, the Badger guard on why Wisconsin stood out during his transfer process.
Once Wisconsin reached out, and I see, obviously as a basketball junkie, I know the tradition, I know the wins, the losses, and all the championships Coach Guard and Coach Ryan have brought to the university, and just the consistency that Coach Guard has had prior to this one, and that's something I wanted to be a part of.
Full episode available on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2032 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2032. Visit PellaWI.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Hallman Lindsay has grown over the years to 27 locations in this great state. Headquartered in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Hallman Lindsay has the paints you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Hallman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
At Carbon World Health, feeling your best isn't a luxury, it's a lifestyle. From advanced aesthetics and rejuvenating med spa treatments to personalized wellness care, everything there is designed around you. Whether you're refreshing your look, boosting your confidence, or investing in total body wellness, Carbon World Health combines medical expertise with a spa-like experience you'll love. Discover the med spa Sun Prairie is talking about. Book your consultation today at Carbon World Health, where wellness meets results.
It's March. It's Madison. It's the road to a gold ball at the Kohl Center on Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of the WIAA State Boys Basketball Tournament.
The lob and the finish for Donovan Davis. Welcome to the Kohl Center in the state tournament.
We're bringing you all 15 games live, March 19th through the 21st.
Give them the gold ball.
Zimbrick Honda's championship presentation of the WIAA State Boys Basketball Tournament exclusively on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
At J&K Security Solutions, protecting your home or business is more than just the priority. It's what we do. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. Since 1987, J&K Security Solutions has been committed to providing Madison and southern Wisconsin with dependable security solutions. Whether it's security, fire, or the latest automation solutions, go to jksecurity.com to see how J&K can help keep your home or business secure. Get protected now at jksecurity.com.
We're on the Bucks.
They're showing Giannis that we're doing everything possible to keep you happy.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Bucks have the power to force Giannis to say, I want out.
Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
Quick reminder, I'm there right now, NBA.com/Bucks/Plus, the joint venture with Good Karma Brands and the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks Plus, they've got Bucks in 6 minutes. They've got Courtside with Gail Klappa. They've got the Here District with Marcus Johnson. And, of course, they've got Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Right now, the Bucks take on the world, narrated by the legendary comedian and sometimes guest of our show. We've had him on a while back. You can tune into that on the Bucks Plus audio network. Bucks Plus, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Tausch, we'll talk more about your really good question, getting a lot of feedback on social media. In Goody We Trust. We'll even get a poll question posted by tomorrow before we do so. Anything to add?
No, I'm a little surprised we have not heard more today. Very quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
I don't know if we've updated any of Shefty's tweets, but the fact that there's been no Sheeto and there's been no Romeo Dobbs news, it's not earth-shattering, but very surprising, because when you start looking at whether it was Matty Bowen or everybody's free agent list, these guys were in a lot of the top 20.
Right.
And typically the top 20 to 25 guys, they're gone day one, day two. A lot of day left, a lot of negotiating I'm sure that is still going on, but I will be very curious what those numbers look like when they'd end up signing more than likely somewhere else. But the longer they don't, you never know if they can come back.
We will do it again tomorrow. Rich Eisen starts next and on time. That's it for us today. Thanks to Evan Cohen, and thanks to you for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX